Alright guys, so we're out here in the garage, and I took off the old piston because I did that last time because it was cold, but can't really help that anyways. It's cold again. I just wanted to stop at that point. So I put this one back in, and one tip is you really don't need to use the pliers. I mean, honestly, I put the one over there in with my hands, which was really easy because if you don't put it in right away, you can put one side in without putting it in yet, and then you can slide it through the thing. I actually don't remember what it's called. The pin that goes through here, the shaft that goes through the top of the crankshaft here. But yeah, you don't have to use the pliers on it because then you can scratch it. I just like to use my fingers, and I actually got this side in with just fingers too. So I mean, I didn't scratch it at all. So that's a really good thing. So there's a good tip. I mean, it's kind of hard, but you just kind of stick in the back side, and then you have the open gap right here, and then you just kind of pull it in with your fingers. If you have nails, at least that'll help too. So yeah, I got that in there really good. Wish this thing would focus a little bit better, but yeah, it's kind of okay. But yeah, make sure you oil it before you put it in, and make sure you have your bearing in there oiled too. So sorry, I didn't drink a lot of water today. So make sure it's also pointing the arrow towards where your exhaust is. I don't know if you can see that. That arrow right there needs to point towards the exhaust port. And then make sure when you're about to put it in, mine's not lined up right now, but there's a little pin where your ring is. Make sure the open gap of the ring is right where that pin is. And make sure, yeah, this way. I don't know where it went, because I was putting this in. Alright, there's a tiny little indent. I am not sure if you can even see it. Yeah, you can kind of see that hole right there, right in the center of the screen. Little dark spot. But yeah, there should be like a little hole. Make sure the gap of the rings are right there. So yeah, that's basically how to put the piston on. And make sure you oil everything. I mean, the outside of your piston, and I just do the top, but I don't know if you really have to, but I recommend doing that. Make sure you put the rings on before you put the piston on, because that's easier too. And then, 2 rings if it's 4-stroke and 1 ring. Well, sometimes, I don't know, 2 strokes can have 2 rings, but mine only has 1, so. Anyways, make sure you oil the outside of your piston, otherwise you will score it when you put it in without that. And then, yeah, so you just collapse the rings in with your hands, and then you put the sleeve over it, and there's kind of guiding areas, so there's like 2 lips that come down right here, and you go right in between those, and you just kind of pull shit in like that. Well, it's like that. Sorry, I was setting my ring again. Make sure you kind of compress the rings together, and then yeah, and then make sure the exhaust port's facing that way, otherwise you're a retard. And then I've actually seen people not remember their gaskets, so make sure you have your gasket in there. And make sure you cleaned off the area with like a razor blade, like I did here, and then degrease it. Otherwise, you might get, you'll get more oil leaks, and you might even get coolant coming out of there. So you can see the coolant ports are right here. So, yeah. That's that, and then I'm going to put this on, and I'm not going to videotape it, but I'll make sure I'll videotape when I do the break-in startup, when I let it idle, because you're supposed to do that. My manual told me to, so any of you shit-talking YouTubers out there who like to say that you know best about what to do, you don't, because you are supposed to break it in slowly, and then eventually do quarters at a time amount of throttle, so 1/4, 2/4 or 1/2, and then 3/4, and then full. And mine says you're supposed to do 10-minute intervals of that, but on each one, and make sure you cool down in between. But your bike might be different, so check your manual. So I'm gonna put this on, and I'll have it started up for you guys.